What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Godly Potential Trades YouTube channel. Back at you with another video. In this video, similar to the other videos, I wanted to talk about the trading that I've been experiencing along my journey, or not the trading, but rather the insights, the epiphanies, the realization that I've been having on my trading journal in the past week. So in the background, you'll see TradingView going. It's just on replay mode. I just got price action going just to, to have something else within the video. It's not important. So last week, I had a very transformative realization for me in my trading. So last week, when I woke up before I traded, I was feeling lethargic and tired already. And I woke up like, oh man, I already know what kind of day this is going to be. Excuse me, because I had it programmed in my head from previous days where, like, man, when I wake up like this, I tend to have a bad day. I tend to be more impulsive, and just these ideas that I had in my head because of past trends. I was also like, man, the workout's going to be more difficult later in the day, and just in a lower vibration, right? And so I walked over to the desk to turn everything on before I got on the charts. And as I stepped to the charts, I just, centered myself quickly. And I was like, all right, just be here now. And so when I did that, kind of, grounded myself and put my attention within the present. And so this was before market open. So at that little 1-2 minute ordeal, I went to my other room. I call it meditation room, and just did my morning meditation. And while I was in there meditating, I started to think about this emotions that I have, because I'm feeling not the best. And so what I ended up realizing was that, okay, I woke up with this idea that, okay, typically I feel this way when I wake up feeling like this, or I perform this way in the markets when I feel like this. But that is not set in stone. Because what originally popped up was the idea of me going to work out later. I was like, man, it's going to be tough. It's going to be difficult. It's going to require more mental strength. And then that's when I realized that, so what? The fact that I said it's going to take more mental strength now prepares me for dealing with it whenever it comes up. For instance, if I go into something thinking I'm gonna crush this, and turns out, oh, dude, I am dying. Well, it's gonna be a lot harder than going in there and thinking, okay, look, didn't get much sleep last night, feeling this way, got a stomach bug, whatever the case is. So I know I need to understand that I will have to push myself a little harder. I will have to dig into that reservoir to push myself more. And so after that thought, then I started to go into, okay, when it comes to being in the markets, on the charts, similar. Okay, if I go into the day knowing that, okay, typically I'm impulsive on days like this, well, I just have to, before I take a trade, really ask myself, if I take this trade and lose, will I say, fuck, I know I shouldn't have taken that trade? Like, that's the phrase that I use. Like, if I lose this trade, will I say, fuck, I know I shouldn't have taken this trade? That's what I ask myself before the trades. And it's been helping me, like, tremendously. And so I'm like, yeah, I just need to be aware that typically, like on days when I feel like this, I am naturally more impulsive, or I'm not as sharp, I'm not reading things as I normally would if, I was feeling optimized, 100%. And so then with that, after that realization and coming to the charts, I was like, all right, just focus, be here now. Then that's when I realized, now that I am aware that I am prone to behave this way, now that I have that awareness, I am now in control of me, because otherwise I would not have that awareness and I would be at the mercy of my emotions and my feelings and the body, because without awareness, we're slave to the body and the emotions. And so that trading day, when I was on the charts and I was analyzing, and it's probably the same for you as well. When you first go on the charts, you're locked in. But if your setup's not presenting, and I don't know when you exit the markets, for me, I typically watch it up until about 1500, so around 3 p.m. New York time, if I don't find anything. So with that much time pass, from 8:30 New York time to 3 p.m. New York time, that's a lot of mental energy being exhausted. So you have to continuously just recenter. And so as I'm just monitoring the charts, every now and again, I'm sorry, be here now, focus, like let's make sure we're here, we're grounded. And that ended up being a great trading day. Ended up taking 2 good trades. And then after that, I was basically done. And then that's when I went to go deeper, just looking into awareness. And so here's what basically I discovered about the awareness. Actually, no, that's not the correct order. Actually, I looked up the video while I was meditating, and that's what actually happened. Yeah. And so the guy named Master Co. He's on YouTube. He's just a meditation teacher. But for some reason, his name popped into my head because I do a lot of meditating, and I like the spiritual aspect of stuff. And so I've watched this stuff before, but for some reason, his name popped into my head, and to look up his name with awareness. And so I did, and he talked about how there's 4 levels of awareness, and I'm just break those down real quickly. So 4 levels. The first level being level 0. Level 0 awareness is when you are not aware of what you just did. Basically, you're at the mercy of your body's just doing it, right? That's like you hurt someone and you're not even aware that you hurt them. Okay. That's like taking a trade and you don't even know why you're taking the trade, So that's level 0, no awareness. Then move to level 1. That's the awareness that we get after the fact. That's when, like, fuck, dude, that was so stupid. Why did I take that trade? That's that awareness, right? And that's a good level of awareness. That's where we learn by looking at our backtest data, the trades we took and all that. It's like, okay, I took this trade. Oh, now I see why I messed up. Okay. Now I can improve. But the thing is, you still will take losses in the markets with that level of awareness. And it's always back to the drawing board, back to the data to figure out why it happened, And then from there, it goes to the next level of awareness, level 2 awareness. This level of awareness happens while you're in the action. Okay, so this is, for me, if I'm looking at the charts, right, let's say I'm analyzing this, I'm like, okay, I see this. It's not really a part of my strategy, but if if I was to enter long here, stop loss here, if I target these high, yeah, it might be a good trade. And then I go, man, what? That's when I catch myself. I'm like, the fuck am I thinking? I'm like, no. And then I'm like, okay, yeah, let's not take this trade. Let's not even take it, right? And you catch yourself, right? That's during the act. And that is a good level of awareness to be in the markets. The only issue with that is it might be too late. You know, you might put on a trade and you might be in drawdown. And then you realize, dude, I forgot now. Like, I shouldn't be taking the trade. You know, I'm up for the week, or like I said, 3 trades max, and then you exit, but you still took that loss. You know, not only that, you went against your plan. So, what I'm working on is the 4th level awareness, which is level 3. Level 3 awareness is when you have that awareness before you're in the action, right? That's like saying, like I said, okay, I know I'm prone to be more impulsive on days like this. So let me be very cautious before I take a trade. Really lock in. Okay. That's when you know, like, oh man, okay, Thanksgiving, I'm gonna go meet with my family. I know I don't get along with this one family member. So let me just distance myself. Let me just, keep it minimal, whatever the case is. You know, you have that awareness beforehand, before you're in the act. So that level of awareness is so great and so necessary, because that's what I believe the reason why traders who trade like live amongst a community, why they do so well as far as following their strategy. It's because when they're going through it, they're talking. They're like, okay, here's what I see. Price just swept this high, this plays down. I would like to get a pullback back into this zone, into this fair value gap. And then, okay, it broke. And so now see if we can get a retest of this breaker, whatever the case is, right? All the, the jargon out there. But they're talking through it, which puts them in that awareness space, right? They're aware because they're talking through it. Whereas for us on the other side of the screen, most likely we're trading by ourselves and it's all just in here. And it's so easy, if you ever meditated, it's so easy to go from thinking about a mantra to then just drifting off thinking about something else, right? So when we're just here, we're just thinking about, okay, I'm looking for this, I'm looking for this. It's so easy to be like, okay, it's not presented yet. Okay, dang, what I need to do later. Okay, yeah. And what I want to eat for breakfast. Just start thinking about other stuff. And then all of a sudden you see something that maybe your setup, like essentially you'll see something that's not fully your setup, or you will miss something. And then you'll take the trade and then you'll move from that level 3 awareness, you'll drop into, level 1. It's like after the fact, like, shit, why did I take that? I knew I should have took that, or whatever the case may be. So those levels of awareness really put it in perspective, because another thing he said in the video was that without awareness, you become a slave to your body and to your emotions, which is so true, because awareness is what separates us from the animals, I believe. It's that ability to say, to forward project, to future project, to think in advance, to think ahead and say, okay, no, I know this is likely to come, so I'm gonna prepare for it now. And that kind of goes into just the focus aspect of trading that I've discovered. When I go into the market, I'm saying, okay, I'm looking for this type of candlestick pattern to form. And then from there, I want to see this happened and then this happened. And you're so focused in on it, like a sniper just watching this sector. And so then when it presents, while maintaining that awareness, we can see it clear as day. And that's all we see. We don't see other shit, right? That's when we just create trades on the fly, you know? It's like, oh man, I learned this strategy back in the day. I don't trade anymore, but it looks like it's presenting. Why not take it here? It's like, but that's not part of your plan. And so when I went down this rabbit hole too, talking about, when him talking about this awareness, it got me thinking about our attention, our awareness, and the double slit experiment. The experiment where particles within I think a vacuum it was, or just particles in general, when they are not absorbed, when they're not observed, they are just in chaos, right? They have no structure. They're just boundless, bouncing around everywhere. But as soon as awareness get put on it, it snaps into form. Okay. That is the double slit experiment, if you haven't heard about it. And it's the same with us, because not only does awareness, or not only does change start with awareness, but change is actually awareness. It's like, it's the overweight person who doesn't know that they gain weight until they see a picture they're taking of them, like, damn, dude, that's me. Or they take the kids to the state fair and they try to go on a ride with them, and the little thing that comes over it don't go over their gut. It's when it's when you think you're good, you're out, you're talking to somebody like, man, your breath stinks, right? When it's put in your face, when you got that awareness, then you can make the change. Otherwise, you don't know it's there. It's a blind spot. And so coming to the markets with that level of awareness, knowing that, okay, I'm prone to drift here, or listen, I just need to keep recentering myself. Like, all right, just create like an anchor phrase or something, just like lock in or be here now. That's like one of my go-tos, because we need that attention. And it's like, it reminds me of the skier that's going down the path. They say skiers know, they understand about the subconscious mind. And what they understand is the subconscious mind doesn't doesn't operate in either know or don't, right? In order for your mind to cancel out something, it first must have to think about it. So if I say, do not think about a purple elephant, well, your mind will generate that purple elephant and then it will try to cancel it out. But by that point, your attention was already placed on that purple elephant. And so they say skiers understand this. And so when they're skiing down a real congested area where there's a bunch of trees, they're not going, don't hit a tree, don't hit a tree, don't hit a tree. They're going, follow the path, follow the path, follow the path. Because if they focus on not hitting a tree, then, well, what's getting put in their mind most of the time? It's tree, 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 possible danger, possible, It's like you're driving in a car on the highway, going above the speed limit. Even though we shouldn't, we do it. And you're just thinking about all the avenues, right? Okay, I can squeeze in here, slow down, speed up, do this and that, right? You're cruising. But it's crazy how somebody else can be in the exact same environment. Let's say you have a passenger and they are panicking. They're holding on to the little handrail. They're like, shit, they're focused on, don't hit the car, don't hit the car, don't hit the car, right? They're just focused on the obstacles. Anyway, kind of drifting away from the topic, but it's that just having that awareness and just bringing that into the markets and just staying aware. And honestly, my trading has improved so much. Not only that, I also incorporated a book map into my strategy. So I don't really use TradeView anymore. I'm gonna lower my subscription plan on that. Mainly what I use is Sierra Chart. To me, it's just superior, right? Because we get actual order flow data. Like the volume down here actually shows, like, this is real volume. And specifically, this is like the consolidated tape data, right? From the CME and and all the other exchanges that I don't know off the top of my head. But what I want to just share, just as my like my the journey is my current status in this account challenge. So last video I talked about how I blew the account. Well, typically these funding challenges have these discounted retries, and so I did the retry, and so that's what we're looking like right now at the moment. As you can see, we started out, hold on, actually put it over here. So we started out, just consolidating, right? Going sideways, pulled down, made a little W, and then boom, nice hockey stick up, right? So the last time I was at 3%, and well, look at that, I'm at 2.79. So just staying aware and just bringing that awareness to the charts, and just continuously, honestly, in real talk, the thing that's really helped me out the most is just saying that phrase to myself before I put on a trade, which is, if I lose this trade, will I say, fuck, I knew I shouldn't have taken that trade? And that alone has helped me steer clear away from trades that's not a part of my trading plan, my A+ textbook setups. But yeah, that's what I've been learning so far on this journey. Honestly, the first video I made, I was talking about how I would say I'm in the break-even stage. I mean, as you can see, yeah, it's like win and loss, right? Just that's how it's been for me for the past couple of years, I'd say. Cause hell, I was even funded on FTMO at one point, had to pay out and everything, right? Then I blew that account. But yeah, just there's been a lot of shifts going on, a lot of discoveries, and I really believe that this is gonna be where I, just like this, right? This is when I take off and, finally hit that consistently profitable stage, because my psychology has been properly worked on. Because truth be told, I don't think you really can work on your trading psychology unless you're in the live markets, because you lose money in the demo account, you don't really care, right? You can place a trade with 0.01 lots. I don't know what that is in the futures conversion, and you don't care. You will close that trade out, come back to it in a month. Oh, damn, I'm up, but it's like, you're not doing that on a real account with real money or a prop challenge, right? So definitely been a lot of realizations. I'm gonna continue just to post what I realize, discover, all that good stuff on this channel. Like I said, because this is, if nothing else, it's just my trading journey, to track the journey. Been at this thing since 2012, before COVID. Not 2012, I'm tripping. 2019, before COVID, like when I got out of the military. So yeah, just consistently hacking away at the thing. Just sharing the process and the progress. So then when I look back on it, I'm like, man, I remember, when I was, just starting to make consistent gains on these prop challenges. And I have a few challenges going right now simultaneously, and they're all green right now, close to the funded stage. But anyway, it's enough of me rambling. This video is already going on 25 minutes. But what I would like to just reiterate is, listen, I don't claim to be a teacher, anything like that. I'm still learning, as you can see. However, I do believe that if you can take away from this video just that being aware and maintain that awareness within that and within your trading, like, it will definitely help you out a lot. Because honestly, it reminds me, today I took a trade, right? So see if I can pull it up. So I mean, it ended up working out for me, but in hindsight, I was like, dude, I shouldn't have taken that trade, but it happened to win. Where is it at? So actually, okay, so look, I trade S&P, SPX and NAS 100. However, I monitor SPY and QQQ. Just my preference is what I like to do because they move the same, right? So I'm watching SPY and I see this absorption, candle. It's a huge candle, a lot of volume. It's like a news candle. However, I want to see price either break through like aggressively or just manipulate and move lower. So I'm watching this and I'm not liking what I'm seeing. And so then I shift over to QQQ, and this is around the same. It's that same candle on this side of the aisle. But then I see this candle. This looks like from the outside like the candle that I typically look for. And so I was like, all right, well, if we break below this with the indicator that I like to see, then I'm gonna go in this trade for long. So that's exactly what I did. Close right, no. So enter right here, just wrote it down here. And I was like, dude, that was a good fucking trade, right? Actually, I got out like around here when it swept this low. So like around there. So, but I was like, okay, cool. Great trade, great fucking trade. And I go to I'm about to record it. And then I realize, I'm like, holy shit, this candle is not what I look for. Like, actually, I shouldn't have took this trade. And so that reminded me that, because, this little darker tone is the lunch hour. And so lunch hour just ended. And so during lunch hour, well, I ate breakfast, right? I broke my fast. And so then I came back to the chart. But one thing I just reincorporated was that then the first half, I need to maintain that awareness. During lunch, relax, chill out, because nobody's working, at any job nonstop. They're getting their 30-hour, 15-minute lunch break, whatever it is, right? Just to chill out, take your mind off the task. And so that's what I needed to do. However, I was still kind of glancing over during the lunch hour, seeing if I see anything. And so when I came to the markets, I was shifting between SPY and QQQ. And I seen SPY show me something I'd like to see. And then it was in a similar area as QQQ. And then I kind of placed what I seen on SPY on the QQQ, even though they typically move in unison. That's why the trade ended up working out. But my awareness drifted, and I was like on autopilot. It's like the subconscious mind seeing it, like, oh, yep, pattern recognition. Yep, that's the type of candle that I look for. Enter. But Even though the subconscious mind is great and it keeps us alive, it keeps us doing all this stuff. We can drive from one location from A to B without even thinking about it. And we get there and realize, like, damn, how did I get here? Well, the subconscious mind took over. It's good enough. However, when it comes to this trading, I noticed that just based on this example, that I need to be locked in because I can easily confuse one sign for another. And that sign could be the difference between a win and a loss. So maintain that awareness, telling that to myself. So we can avoid getting into trades like this. And if it would have ripped up, I would have came back then with that awareness, like, oh shit, now I see it. Fuck, I should have taken that trade, because I dropped in awareness. But anywho, that's been the video. Before I keep going. So if you enjoyed this video, if it was helpful, let me know in the comments. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. If you got any video suggestions, want to hear anything about my journey or what have you, just let me know. That's been a video. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.